Hello all, my name is Abdurrahman and in this video I am going to talk about triggers in SQL. Up to this point we have covered a lot of stuff in SQL, like we have covered updating and deleting the data. We have to learnt about creating the table, creating the database, creating company database. We have learnt about all of these things, but this is the final video of the playlist. So in this particular video I am going to talk about triggers in SQL. So a trigger is a special type of stored procedure that automatically runs when an event occurs in the database server. DML runs when a user tries to modify a data or through a data manipulation language event. Data manipulation language events are insert, update or delete statements on a table or a view. So let's go ahead and get started using triggers in SQL. So as you can see here, I have this table. I'm going to create this table known as trigger test. You don't actually need to create this table. If you want, you can create this table in SQL. So I have this create table trigger test, and I have this message. I have a column known as message, and this which is going to be varchar and its characters. The maximum number is 100. So now I'm going to click here and run this program. So as you can see here, it's showing rows affected is 0. Okay, so actually now I have created a table in SQL. So I can say anything to I can create any trigger which says like, hey, I want to create this something gets inserted into the table, so I want to get some notification that it has been not actually notification here in the taskbar or somewhere. So whenever the table has been created, I have to, when I am going to run this trigger test table, then it show me that some data has been inserted into the employee table, something like that. And one more thing I want to show you is that up to this point we have been using this program PopSQL, which is basically an editor. So which is very simple. Up to this point we have been using, and which is very simple, and we have been creating, we have done lot of programs in this PopSQL. But now in this video I am going to use MySQL command line client, and I am going to use that just because of SQL delimiters. So if we use the delimiters here, it will be going to show us some error, so I am going to use that. So if you are on Windows, then you are going to click on the start menu, and then I am going to search here MySQL 8.0 command line client, or whatever the version you are using. Okay, and then if you remember when I was creating that when I was installing MySQL on Windows, there I have set a password. So I am going to enter that password, root password. So after entering the password, it will be showing welcome to MySQL monitor, and if you don't have password, then it's going to just open like this only. Okay, so we have this. And if you remember one more thing, that after setting up MySQL, I have created a database. Okay, so there I have created a database, and I have given a name known as here. So in this case I am going to use the database, right, because I am going to use here MySQL command line client, and I am going to run here some programs. So I am going to give here is use. So here you can give any name for your database, okay, whatever the name you have given. So now I am going to give you used it. So here, and now it's showing. So here database has been changed. Okay, so now I am going to minimize this one, and I have created this table or not. Okay, so already I have created this table, and so now I am going to write a trigger which says something like, hey, I wanna, when I'm inserting something into the employee table, I should get a message that this thing it should be inserted into the. So first of all I want to show that program, then I can explain you. So I am going to paste that program here. So paste it. So as you can see here, I have the delimiter, I have all of this. So I am going to talk about delimiter after some time. So first of all I will be talking about this program, how it's going to work here. So I have this create, and I am saying that create a trigger. Okay, and then I am saying that the name of the trigger should be my trigger. After that, I have before insert on employee for each row begin insert into trigger test, all of this. So what it is, I am saying that create a trigger whose name is my trigger. You can give any name. After that, I have given is before inserting anything onto the employee table. In the employee table, if you are inserting something into the employee table, then for each row begin insert into the trigger test value. So if I am inserting anything into the employee table, I should get this. It should have been inserted into the trigger test table first, then it should be inserted into the employee table. So let's say that we are inserting 5 rows in a employee table. Okay, so we are saying that before insert on the employee table, for each row begin, every row has to be inserted into this trigger test table. So I should get this message added new employee. So I am going to give this in the capital letters. So insert into trigger test values, and I should get added new employee. And so this is how it's going to work. So this is how this trigger is going to work in SQL. And one more thing I forgot to talk with you is that I have not talked about delimiters in SQL. So what's actually delimiter? A delimiter is a simple or compound symbol that has a special meaning to SQL. For example, you use delimiters to represent arithmetic operations such as addition and subtraction, symbol, and etc. Right? So this is delimiter, like we have select from asterisk. So we have this is also a delimiter. This semicolon is also a delimiter. So if you observe here, I have created all of these things, but I have again trigger my all of these things. But while I am inserting into trigger test, I have given here is this semicolon, because I want to end this command. I want to say that insert this into the trigger test, right? So that's why I have given here. If I won't give, then it's actually going to say that the trigger has been created successfully while it has not been created. Okay, so now I am going to open this MySQL, and as I said, the reason for using MySQL command line for entering this is that PopSQL, this editor, is not going to configure delimiters, right? So I am going to copy this delimiter here, and I am going to paste that here. So I am going to press here enter. After that, now I am going to copy this one, this till here, and then I am going to open this one and paste that one, and now I am going to press here enter. So as you can see here, it's showing query okay, rows affected 0.1 second, all of these things. And now I am going to give here this one. Okay, and now I am going to paste that here and run it, and as you can see here, nothing has been printed here. Okay, so it's showing rows affected, which is it has been successfully created, but we need to test that. So for testing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert something into the table. So I'm going to give here an insert this one. Okay, so now insert, I'm going to delete this one, insert into, and I have this employee. Okay, insert into employee, and then I'm going to give here values. No, mistake. Okay, and after that I am going to give here the brackets, right? And in the brackets I will be giving the employee ID. So 109 I will be giving, and then I will be giving here is the name. So now the name I am giving here is some name like, okay, Benjamin. Okay, and the last name should be the frontier. Okay, and then so I have given these things, but now I have to give his date of birth, his gender, his salary, and his supervisor ID and his branch ID. So now I have this one, and now I am going to give here comma again, and in the okay, and now here I am going to give here his date of birth. So his date of birth is like 1917. 06, and then okay, 1706. After that dash, I'm going to give the month, that is 01 dash 17. Okay, so now I have given his DOB, and now I am going to give his gender, comma, male. After that I'm going to give his salary something like 69,000. Okay, after that I'm going to give his supervisor ID 106. After that he will be giving his branch ID. Okay, so I have all of these things, and now I'm going to give here this one semicolon, and now I'm going to run this program. So I will be clicking here and running this program, and as you can see here, it's showing rows affected is 1, so which means that this has been inserted successfully into the employee table. So now let's check whether it has been inserted successfully or not. So for that I'm going to do here, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select. So let's first of all let's take the employee table, and then later on I am going to check these trigger test, my trigger table. So select asterisk from employee, okay, and then select asterisk from employee, and now I am going to click here and run this program. As you can see here, we have all of these things, and we have this Franklin also. So now I am going to go back here. So I am going to remove this one, and now let's check whether it has been inserted into that trigger test table, that we have added the new employee in the table. So let's go ahead and check that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give here like select asterisk from, okay, so the select asterisk from the trigger test table. So we have been created trigger test, okay, and now I am going to give here the semicolon, and now I am going to run this one. Click here and run this program. As you can see here, it's showing message, and the name of the column is method, and it's showing added new employee into the table, right? So we have been created this successfully, and I'm going to remove this one. And one more thing I want to show you guys is that I want to change this. We have this added new employee, but I don't want this. Instead of this, I want to put something like the name of the employee who has been inserted, and then I want to get the message that this has been inserted. Like for example, if you are on YouTube, right? So if you are subscribed to some channel, right, there what you will get is, whenever he uploads a new video, then you are going to get the notification that you have got a new video, and then you can see the video thumbnail and everything. But when you click it, then you are going to see that whole video, right? So now I am going to remove this, and instead of this I want to put something like new, and now I want to put this and I want to give the first name, first name. Okay, so I have given like this only. So now I am going to, so we have all of these things, and we have now, okay, so now I am going to remove this one, and now I am going to insert one more thing, and that is I will be giving insert, okay, and then I am going to give this insert into the employee, okay, and then I am going to give here values, okay, and now I am going to give here the brackets. So we are getting now, and now I am going to give here the brackets, and in the brackets I am going to give the employee ID, that is 110, and then I am going to give the name. I am going to give the name of the person, so that is I am going to give some name like Jim, and now I am going to give here Okay, and now sorry, I have not given this in the quotation marks. And now I am going to give his DOB, right? So his DOB is something like comma, and in the quotation marks I will be giving is 1978 dash 08, sorry, 0110, and then I'm going to give the first. Okay, and now I'm going to give some salary, like what should we give? Okay, first of all we have to give his gender, so I'm going to give that male, and then I'm going to give his salary, and that is, let's keep it same thing, 69,000 as we have kept before. And then I'm going to give his supervisor ID, and that is 106 comma, and his branch ID should be 3. Okay, so we have insert into employee, and we have values, we have all of these things. So now I am going to click here and run this program, and now as we can see here, it's showing rows affected is 1, which means the table has been inserted successfully into the employee table. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this delimiter again, and then I'm going to paste that here again. So now I'm going to paste that again. Let's do one thing. I think we can do this one. Okay, and then I'm going to copy this one from here to here. So I'm going to paste that here, and then so it's showing error 1359, and its trigger already exists. So let's do one thing, let's change its name something like trigger 1, and then I'm going to copy this one and paste that here, and then enter that one, and now I'm going to paste this delimiter again, paste it, and now the trigger has been created again, and now I think I should have been inserted this right now. So now I'm going to insert. Okay, so now let's check whether it has been inserted into the trigger test table. So select asterisk from the employee, so no, sorry, trigger test, because we are talking about trigger test, right? So I'm going to give you a semicolon, and then I'm going to run this program. So as you can see here, so it's showing I have an error in the select from the number 49. So the mistake that I have done here is, like, I have inserted this first. Okay, so for that what I have to do is I have to, I think, so select asterisk, I have this one from the trigger test, right? Let's do one more time. Okay, so we'll be deleting this time, this later on. Okay, so anyhow guys, that's all for this video. So if I have not inserted this before creating the trigger, then it's not going to show that error, but I have done the mistake. So you don't do this mistake when you are creating. Okay, so anyhow guys, that's all for this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you, bye bye.